Good morning from Big Bend National Park and the upper Burro Mesa Trail. So plans are changing for me. I actually just did 2 miles of off-trail hiking. I was going to do Toll Mountain, which is just a little ways west of here, but I looked at the canyons I would have had to cross over and just decided I'm not up for it right now. My buddy Mark and I had a really awesome hike yesterday. We finished up in probably 100-degree heat, but successfully made it. Anyway, so I'll just probably do some little elevation points today. If anything, this may be it right here. I'm definitely running on lack of sleep. For whatever reason, last night I could not get to sleep at all. I think it was the wind blowing the tent. So there's the peak right there, the one in the center. It's actually the point on the right of the center peak, point 4135. So the trail's going to continue to descend, and then I'll decide where I head off trail up to the summit. All right, there's the peak up there. I'm actually going to go off trail right here up this slope, just in case it's more cliffs if I continue on the trail. I made it to the summit of point 4135, so first peak of the day, maybe the last peak too. I think the upper Burro Mesa Pouroff is beyond there. I'm going to go see it, but I'm definitely not going to chance going down that way. I'm going to go back the way I came just to be safe, because I'll probably get cliffed out. Anyway, it's nice views, just hazy. It's really hazy everywhere. I'll just point out a couple things. 2 days ago, I summited the Burro Mesa High Point, which is that point right there. And then I also did the other point marked as Burro Mesa. That's another elevation point. And I can actually see the giant rock pile up there. That pile is taller than me. So it gives you some perspective of a person standing on the top of that summit right there. All right, I just came down from there. That was my off-trail point. I just packed up the gaiters. The upper half of this trail was mostly solid rock and solid terrain, but the lower half has been just in the wash here. I bet I could have made it down from the peak somewhere over here, but I wasn't sure. I definitely didn't want a chance getting cliffed out. I'm glad I did this hike though. This is beautiful. Another awesome looking canyon. I forgot to mention too, from the summit of the high point, I could barely even see Santa Elena Canyon, and it's not that far away. It's just due to all the haze. It's really hazy here. It was hazy yesterday. Seems like it's even worse this morning. I think the Pouroff will be right there in that gap. I think that's where it's at, so it's not too much further. Okay, we're here. The Burro Mesa Pouroff, so this is about as close as I want a chance getting. I'll put my arm out a little bit. It's a long drop. They don't really give you too much of a warning, you just kind of get to it. There's a little cairn over here. This place is pretty neat though. It's just rock walls and it's carved out, and man, beautiful. But I'm glad I came here. I'm glad I did this. It's definitely worth seeing. So 5 years ago, I was 180 feet or whatever below here, and finally made it to the top. There's this section with some slick rock that you have to climb down, and then you just kind of right behind me off to my right is the Pouroff. So you're right there once you climb down that. See, that's the Pouroff right there. All right, I'm back to my off-trail point up to the peak, and it's about 0.6 of a mile from the Pouroff. Should have about 1.2 miles back from here. Man, I'm definitely struggling right now. I think it's just fatigue from yesterday and already what I did this morning, but it's kind of embarrassing, but it's kind of a challenge getting back up this trail in some regard. I just passed a couple, they were heading down. I didn't think I'd see anybody, but somebody else is out here. This upper section has its own nice areas. Not quite as impressive as further below, but it's still pretty neat up here too. Another beautiful canyon here at Big Bend. All right, I'll finish up. There's that couple's car and my sister-in-law's car. And that's it for the upper Burro Mesa Pouroff trail and point 4135, which was my primary focus on this hike. But the Pouroff and that trail down there, especially, was pretty cool. So glad I did it, glad I got to see this. I'm gonna get on to the next destination now. All right, this is the second peak of the day. This is point, I can't remember the elevation offhand, but it's probably 32 something, 31 something. That one right there I remember is 3402. I did that a few years ago, and I've done some of these other ones around here too. Nice views from up here, and I keep saying that. I say that on every peak, obviously, but I mean, there's never a bad view from the top of a mountain. There really isn't. It's beautiful. It's funny, with all the effort, elevation gain, and distance I've already done today, I probably would have done Toll Mountain. Maybe I'd be done right now. But I don't know, for some reason I was just looking at the canyons I had to cross over and just got lazy and thought about the heat potentially and just didn't want to do it. But it was probably the right decision. So I may go for that point right there. I'm gonna drive up the road a little bit and park and decide. All right, this is the view from the summit of Point. It's 36 something, and that's the peak I just came from. So I got back to my car, drove a little ways up the road, and then came up to here. Anyway, this is it for today. I just need to get back down. I'm struggling right now. It's tough. This was a tough one. It was 656 feet of elevation gain in half a mile, so it's pretty steep and a lot of loose stuff too. Anyway, there's a Kit Mountain over there, just a little bit higher than here. And then I came from over in this direction. So my car's down there, half a mile away. Just have to get back to it, and then that's it for today. And I'll see if I maybe want to head up to the basin or just hang out at the campsite or whatever. Probably go up to the basin. Anyway, that's it. So Burro Mesa, upper Burro Mesa, Pouroff, 4135, and then that elevation point and this elevation point. 3 peaks for today. That's good. It's getting hot, and I'm definitely still fatigued from yesterday. I'm definitely calorie deprived, so I need to get something to eat. A lot, actually. All right, anyway, thanks for watching. Have a good day.